G'day guys, welcome back, Tri5 Guy. Yeah, we're going to work on the 35 Chevy again. It's December 27th, 28th, something like that, a few days after Christmas, and warm here in Kentucky. I can't believe it. Compared to where I used to live in Maine, the weather is awesome so far this year. Alright, so today we're going to work on getting the wipers all finished off, all the tubing, for the cable to run into, the tracking tubing. I'm going to try and fit the radiator that was in this car. Like we said, we've never had it set up in this car. We've had it sitting in there, but it's the way they had bolted it with fencing wire and house strapping and stuff like that. We're going to do a neater job putting that together. We're going to organise the bar that goes up here. Another thing, we don't know how this works on a 35 Chevy. Like I said, this car was pulled apart in pieces when we got it. So we're going to work this out, how that bar goes. Here's the bar. Here's how it sits. I'm pretty sure that sits on a bracket of some sort for the hood latch, or because these have got you know, what do you call it? Call them a hood that opens and closes this way, you know what I mean? So there's some sort of a bracket that sits here and over there. Interested to know how that works, if anyone knows. Yeah, so going to work out the pulley system, sort of that needs to go on. We're going to get another water pump for it. We're just going to put a brand new water pump on it. Steve's going to do the wipers, like I said. I'm going to start wiring this in and get all that stuff done. So, yeah, we want to get this thing rolling and started. So, yeah, guys, bear with us. And here's the radiator that was out of this car here. Aluminum radiator. Looks like they beat the heck out of it here to clearance. Maybe those bars that went across here, I'll have a look. If it was mine, I would spend a couple of dollars and have this radius back. I don't trust that at all, but like for now, we're just going to set it up and it can be taken back out and that done to it. Yeah, I would just radius these back on a 45 with flat plate. So I'm gonna hook it up anyway, get it all in there, and see how we go from there. So I better mount the engine fan in first. I think this is how they had it. Not really ideal. I always like the engine fan in front of the radiator, not behind it. But hey, whatever works, right? So that's just sitting there at the moment. I just want to mock it all up first and see how it is, and then clean it up and then reinstall it with the correct bolts. I've only got them just sitting there for now. But I think that's how it sits. Power goes to the front here. Have to work out where we're going to run the wiring for that. I wonder if we can turn the orientation around this way so that the wiring just drops straight down. I guess it doesn't matter. But that's where it wants to sit. Everything lines up. So I'll just throw a couple of bolts in there and see how it looks. All right, made the brackets up. There they are there. It's also got down there's a bracket that holds up into there. And here's what they had for the brackets. Nice, huh? Exhaust clamp sort of brackets, multiple made ones. Multi-fit ones, I should say. So I stuck the radiator out a little bit, and the pulley does clear the radiator. So that's all fine. Now I'm going to take this out again, clean up that radiator, paint that shroud that's underneath there. Find out what bolts are supposed to bolt in there, put it all back together, put the radiator back in it, cleaned, and then start assembling everything else here. I've got to put the idler pulley for the blower belt, and the alternator is bolted on. I need a couple of different bolts and get it on there and clean up this somewhat. Need another belt for the alternator, and also we need a new water pump because it was leaking severely, so that's going to get all replaced. first, and then bang the radiator hoses on and stuff like that. But first, I'm gonna do the shroud and the and paint these little brackets that I made and on this side. I don't know if you can tell, but down there you can see there's a bolt right there. There's a bolt right there, and there's a bracket behind there too. So that's pretty sturdy, that radiator. So here's the continuation of the last video. As you know, we put this section on here for the wipers, and here's where it routes from this transmission to over that side. So there it is there. It goes across, it steps up, and it goes across here. If you notice that this transmission over here, the tube fits on top, and on this one it fits on the bottom. That's so the wipers come in at each other at the top rather than having both directions. If you want them in the both going in across and over in the same direction, this would have to be flipped around the other way, so the tube's at the bottom. There you go. So it's ready for the cable route. Oh, the cable's in there, Steve? What? The cable's in there, right? Yeah. So the cable's already in there, and Steve's making the wiring for it now. Goes from here to the switch on the dash. So there you go. All right. So the wires are all temp connected. Okay. Steve had to make a harness up, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah, it's kind of a temporary harness that connects to that.
So that's the switch we're using, right?
Yeah.
Where's that going to go, Steve?
Either in here, or we probably make a little plate here. We've got 3 switches we have to contend with. We've got a headlight switch, wiper switch, and ignition switch to put somewhere. We can maybe put something here, the ignition switch up here, and fill this little hole here.
Yep.
Anyway, we just got to play around and see where we're going to put stuff. And some of that's his preference, but yeah, so this system is really flexible, and you can do lots with it, including wipers like this, the other way, and including how you park them. And right now, as you can see, we got them parked on the outside.
So that's parking on the outside, ideally.
Yeah.
So that's the sweep, and you can select the sweep, right?
Yeah.
In degrees, like 90 or...
Yeah, that's at 120 right there. And that was just kind of a starting point, because we didn't really know what we're going to be able to do. And keep in mind, we haven't decided if the windshield is going to be a 1-piece or 2-piece.
Right.
If it's a 2-piece, it'll have a divider down through here. Right. So we have to get that sorted out a little bit too. So, but right now is the deciding whether the part. And
those blades would be roughly like that long, right?
Yeah, that's
Steve?
pretty close. I mean, you can probably get just a little bit longer and get you some more height up here.
Yeah.
But again, you got to
watch
the divider, the top and the side, and they're very universal. You can make them.
And that noise, Steve?
Yep.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's definitely over here.
So, I think, and I don't know what you think, Steve, maybe they should park in that position here, right?
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah, I think they probably would look better, but I mean, finally, at the end of the day, it's just what you like.
Yeah, what preference? Well, maybe if we just say to people, maybe subscribers can say, what do you think? Park it in the middle over here, or park it over here, and we'll see. We'll see if anyone gets back to us with that. I would prefer to have them park in the middle.
I think that's probably more typical.
Yep.
But it's just you have to take the motor back off, and then there's a wheel inside there that you can turn to decide where it's parking at. But
right. And this is the switch they give you in the kit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can't really get a good
It has
shot.
the capability to run a washer pump too. It has a place on the switch has got it, the function, and it's got an output terminal on the back to if you wanted to do that. I don't think we're going to.
So it comes with a wiring kit, comes with everything, right?
Yeah, so you have to make up this connector. It's not a big deal.
But you have to, you get the connector, but you have to
you have to pin it and put the connectors and snap it together.
So that's it, isn't it?
Come on.
I mean, that's just another thing off the list for the 35. I've actually got the inside of that painted now, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to go paint the brackets wherever I put the brackets that I made. Oh, here they are. So I'm going to throw some primer and paint these up. Little brackets I made. That's for the radiator. To hold that to the shroud. So I'm going to go do that now. Okay, it's the next day. Steve went out and bought a water pump. We're just going to trial fit it before we paint it. Make sure everything lines up, pulleys and so forth. Do you want me to put that bolt in, Steve?
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, it's good. That gasket can come off, can't it?
Yep.
Or you're putting it on them.
I'm just, it don't matter.
Can you just, yeah, jiggle it a bit. Yeah, it must have shit in the thread.
Is that thing hitting something in the back?
No.
It doesn't feel like it's back.
No, it's not on this side. But there's no reason why it can't go all the way in though.
It's like it's riding the bolts or something. Something is hitting.
Oh, yes, it is. The bolt, are the bolts hitting the timing case cover?
I think it's hitting right there.
That's odd, isn't it? What is that?
It's the cover.
Yeah, it is. It's hitting that cover. That's odd. Why would it be hitting that
On
cover?
both sides.
Huh. All right, we had some clearance issues here. We put the gasket on, and this is what it's hitting by, this much here. So, I mean, castings may vary after a few years, don't they, Steve?
Yeah, it's got a later model. This is like off of a '68 Chevrolet, but that's a crate engine. It's got a different timing cover on it, and it's got a big lip on it.
Yeah, but we're going to just take that edge off, and it'll fit fine.
While you're doing that, I'll get those little bolts ready.
Yeah. Right, so we have to just machine down, but file down these ends here because on the castings they come out and they hit the timing cover, timing chain cover. So you just have to just modify both on both sides, this side and that side. I guess it's a common thing. That's these castings are just rough made. But yeah, just a little bit of filing, plenty of meat in there. No worries. Bit of colour. Look at that. Just a quick couple of coats. All right. Give it a couple of coats. Got to work on the headlight buckets, the glove box door, and a few other bits and pieces, the air vent for the top. Get them done, and a few other things on the motor. Get everything done that we have to get done. So, okay, so we're going to work on the headlight buckets. Headlight buckets. The lid for the glove box lid or door, the air vent, and going to weld up this hole here. I forgot what was there, some sort of a bung or something like that, but we don't need it, so I'm going to cover it up. I've already did this one here. That's all done. Get it all cleaned up, get them all cleaned. Bodywork, there's miscellaneous stints on all those, so I'm going to get them done today, and then get them in primer, and they're going to be painted black. So let's get started with that. All right, so they're all sanded. All the surface rust has been removed. There's only a few little dents in them. Not really bad at all. So I'm just gonna put a coat of filler on it and just sand it. That's where that hole was. It just requires a little bit of filler. Get them all I'll get them all in the filler and then sand it. And here's the other one. And get them close, and then I'll start on the glove box lid and the air vent. Probably a little bit too much hardener in this. Looks good. So make sure it's mixed in pretty good. Probably have to do this a couple of times. Probably going to have to put filler on a couple of times, make sure it's right, you know. Yeah, right. Here it is. I'm glad it's sort of like winter time, and this filler's, although it's pretty warm in here, it's it's not going off quite as fast as it usually does, that's for sure. Don't get your hands in it. Oh, I've got my hands in it. All right, so the water pump's painted. The front pulley's painted too, or the alternator accessory belt pulley. Water pump come up good. All bolted on. The alternator is bolted on. Alternator bracket is bolted on properly. Brand new belt. Everything lines up pretty good. So that's all on. We put this this welting across here that the hood sits on with these little stainless sort of brackets here. I don't even know if it goes like that, to be honest. I've tried to look online for these things, and I'm assuming that's the way it goes, hopefully. But it looks good. It covers up all the little original holes in there. It looks decent. So that's on. Here's the fan, and I repainted the bracket that the fan was sitting on. So that's all on. And there's that bracket up underneath there. Next thing I'm going to do, well, me and Steve are going to do, we're going to put the radiator in, which is over there, and I quickly gave it a quick clean on the top there. And we're going to put the blower belt on. The blower belt, which is already sort of sitting down there, and the top pulley, and see what it looks like then. So, be back. Okay, so the radiator's in. The brackets I made are on. It's all bolted in. Belts on. What else did we put on, Steve? The radiator, the pulleys.
Water pump.
Oh yeah, we already got that.
Oh, yeah.
The radiator hose is on the top, just sitting there. I mean, bottom one, dirty. But all this has to come off again to put the grill on. But we don't know what's going on with the grill. So until we know what's going on with the grill, it's staying off, I guess. So we're just going to move ahead. So to put the grill on, you got to take the radiator out, and to take the radiator out, you got to take the pulley drive off it. So, and that's the way it is, because the grill bolts up from the inside of the grill shell. So all that has to come off. Not the shroud or the fan, but the radiator does, and the top pulley and the blower belt has to come off. What's next on the agenda, Steve, on this? What can we do next?
Honestly, probably start easing into some wiring.
Wiring.
Yeah,
We still got to repair the headlights. They're going to be painted black. The top vent here, the air vent, has to be painted black. The glove box lid has to be painted, and as well as the cluster. What's going on with the cluster and the gauges?
It's on the way.
Does it come with a cluster, or does we have to fit it in the cluster?
It's got a plate.
Okay, so you just screw it up to it. Cool. So, all right. That's it for today. It's come up well. There you go. Okay, so the two headlight buckets, the glove box door and the vent have got one first coat of high build primer on them. I'm gonna sand them flat and get them all smooth, and then one quick coat of primer, and then they're ready for black. They come up awesome. Come up really good. Got rid of those holes that were here. Right there was a hole right there. Dents all around them everywhere. Yeah, come up really neat. The vent. And there was a slight dent right here on the glove box door. Yeah, it's gone. So like I said, high build primer, sand it off nice and smooth. Another coat of primer. It'll require another coat of primer because I'll hit metal in places, you know, when you're sanding it, and then another quick coat of a couple of little light coats of primer, and that's it. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That'll be awesome.